Hi everyone, welcome to our monthly Ask Us video. We take out your Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Steam, blog, and any questions you have about Brutal, Stormcloud, game development, anything you want to ask us, and we answer them for you right here. It's a fantastic day, the sun is shining in Scotland no less, so let's begin. So first things first, thank you so much to everyone who voted for our Steam Greenlight campaign. We passed it the weekend and we're over the moon with how that went. Thanks to everyone who voted, first of all, who commented on the videos, who liked the posts, tweeted the posts, retweeted them, did everything you can basically to promote this campaign. It means a lot to us. We couldn't have done that without you, so thank you so much. We're at the point now where we need to do the paperwork for Steam Greenlight, our taxes, our company details, you know, the boring side of things, sadly. But once we get that done, we can get set up with how do we do achievements, how do we do leaderboards, is there any networking changes we need to make? We can get kind of on the back end and figure out what's what with the Steam setup. This is our first Steam-based game as a company, so there'll be a lot of learning to do, but we're now one step closer to that release date for PC, Mac, and Linux. So guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. But now on with the questions. Okay, so question one is from Mike, and Mike asks, is there a weapon upgrade system? Yes and no, to answer your question. So there are no upgrades in the sense that you don't get your battle saber and then you don't add damage to it. You don't add +2, +4, +6, and so on. What we've got is there are 3 types of each weapon. So you've got 3 short swords, long swords, axes and hammers, spears or pikes, and bows. And within each of those categories, there's a tier 1, a bronze, tier 2, a silver, and a tier 3, the gold, the legendary weapons. So those upgrade over time. So you'll start with the basic sword, which does say 20 damage. You'll then find the tier 2 sword, the silver sword, which does more damage, and then the gold or the legendary sword, which does a lot more damage. So you'll find those as you progress in dungeon floors. But on top of that, you can enchant the weapons as well, as we discussed in some of our videos. So basically you can take your basic weapon, the tier 1, 2, or 3 weapon, and you can make it a fire enchanted sword, poison enchanted sword, electric sword, and that will add damage and effects to your weapon. So there's always a way to upgrade or improve what you're using at that time in the dungeon, but there's no traditional upgrade system in terms of adding extra damage. For our next question, we've got Lex Eagle Vision. Fantastic name, if that's your real name. Lex asks, when is the game coming to PS4? So right now we've got no exact release date, no this is the day, this is the launch date. We're looking for that May window, that May period for the PS4 version, but we're waiting to lock that in until we hear back from, well, until we get the game submitted. We need pass certification. We're getting closer to that, but we haven't done that just yet. We hear back from Sony. There could be other games that are coming out. You know, the last thing we want to do is work on this game for a year and then launch it at the same time as like 5 other fantastic games and get lost in the crowd. So you need to make sure we're launching at a sensible point for us as well. So we're looking at that May window right now, but that isn't locked in exactly. Just being very honest with you guys right here. That isn't locked in just yet, but we're on track for that from a development point of view. And the minute we know what the date is, believe you me, we will let you guys know. For our next question, Richard asks, will there be Mac support at launch? I double check there, but will there be Mac support at launch? And yes, there will. So when we launch the PC version, which remember, or the Steam version, I should say, sorry, which remember will be slightly after the PS4 version. And when we launch that, there will be support on PC, on Mac, and on Linux on day 1 of that Steam launch. No dates for that just yet, but we are planning and we will support all 3 of those different platforms or operating systems. For our next question, we've got Gavin, and Gavin asks, what happens in co-op if someone dies? So if someone dies in co-op, you've got 2 options as the other player. You can revive them there and then. So if you revive them, it gives them half of your health. So if you got 10 health, when you revive them, they get 5, and now you've got 5. So obviously there's a risk there because you're both low, but the benefit is you've got double the damage going out towards the enemies. Or you can leave them behind and get them the next level. So if you decide that there's a lot of enemies circling you and you can't revive them, because if you start reviving them, you're going to take a hit from an enemy, and you think it's better to progress through the level, find some food, find some health potions, a health tree perhaps, basically just find a way to get more health back. You can do that, progress to the next level, and then you can find them on the next level, kind of Left 4 Dead style, and bring them back at that point. The same mechanics still apply, you still give them half your health, but it allows you to leave them behind if you can't do that system right there and then, again because of low health, because of enemies surrounding you, or simply because you want to get to the next level as fast as possible. So that's how it works currently. So for our next question, Welton asks, why didn't you do a Kickstarter for the game? So there's several reasons there, Welton, to be honest with you. The first is that we were very fortunate that when we did our prototype of the game, when we did that initial teaser trailer, if you will. Sony loved that. They picked that up very, very quickly. They've got this fantastic team in Sony Europe and America who looks for new indie games or new companies or just very interesting projects and brings them to PS4. So they saw Brutal very early on, loved it, loved the idea, the concept behind it, and what we were doing with it, and supported us very, very quickly and very early on, and allowed us to basically continue development without worrying about Kickstarter, without worrying about anything like that. So we are a PS4 console exclusive, but obviously we're coming to PC as well. So we didn't need to do that there at all. And once we'd done that, we didn't want to do a Kickstarter for the PC version as well. It's kind of weird to be like, the PS4 version's done, it's kind of getting worked on over here, and now here's our PC Kickstarter. It's kind of just, it's an odd thing to do. So we are self-published, we are doing all our own marketing and push promotion for PS4 and for PC. And we decided early on that when it came to the PC version announcement, when I got closer to the fact that, okay, this is a thing that's becoming tangible, you can now play this on PC, we decided to do a Steam Greenlight campaign. One, because it kind of allows us to gauge interest on the game. Like we hadn't done any PC promotion thus far, so this allowed us to know, do people want to play this on Steam? Is there a market there? And we thought there was. We're very confident, but you never really know. So we're very confident with that, and it also allows us to get onto Steam in a very sort of indie friendly way, which is fantastic for us. So that's the reason we didn't do Kickstarter. We love Kickstarter, it's a great platform. Maybe one day in the future we will use it, but we didn't use it this time, and we're very, very happy about that. And for our last question, we've got Isley, and Isley asks, will there be online co-op in Brutal ever? And never say never, but we most likely will never have online co-op in Brutal. We do support 2-player local couch co-op, and that's partly because, well, one, it ties into the aesthetic. Like we're making this kind of old school dungeon crawler / roguelike in terms of our art style, the ASCII art style, as you can see right here, and also some of our mechanics. And we also talk about how this game is like a passion project. This is bringing those ASCII games and bringing them forward, and thinking about that as well. One thing that we all kind of grew up playing was 2-player or more couch co-op. So this feature makes sense to us, and we're very lucky that a lot of you guys are really excited about that. Couch co-op is a thing you don't get very often anymore, and that's fine. There's reasons for that. It's a shame because we think it's a fantastic feature, and we decided to support that from the offset. The other positive thing with that is that there's no networking required. If we were to do online co-op, there's a lot more work involved in that, and as a small team, it's just not feasible at this point. So again, never say never, but most likely never. And that is that, guys. Thanks so much for your questions. They were fantastic. If you want to get your questions on this video, you can do so in the comments below. You can tweet us at Stormcloud Games, or you can go over to our Facebook page /Stormcloud Games and like us there. Drop us a little message with your question, and we'll get that answered in our April video. Thanks to everyone who watches this video, who likes it, who shares it on social media. This is our first sort of foray into this kind of content on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. This, again, it's our first game, so we're very new to all this sort of stuff. But we appreciate all your feedback and all your support and interaction. It's been fantastic, but I have to go to work. I have to edit this video and make Brutal. Stop keeping me here, guys. I need to go. Bye.